again. Come with me, I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know.
Morning, welcome to part 4 of our vlog. We've finished here in Karlstad and today we head off. It's going to take us about 3.5 hours and we're going to head southwest to a place called Varberg, which is below Gothenburg. We're going to head there. It should be a steady drive, nice roads, and this site is on a beach. I think it sort of edges onto the north, what would be the North Sea. So we're looking forward to getting there. Got 5 nights there, and then we venture on to our last site in Sweden for a last stop there. So onwards, we'll see you in Varberg.
Onwards and upwards. But yeah, no, we've had a fantastic time here. The lake here has been absolutely fantastic to do a little walk around, as you've seen in the previous videos that we've done. But no, the trail, the track, all the outdoor activities here, and basically everybody having fun has been absolutely fantastic and lovely to see.
And we met a celebrity last night.
And we did. We met a celebrity.
Funnily enough, while sat here, this amazing Naus A-class
motorhome came. Yeah.
And then this chap got out and he didn't look like your average motorhomer and he started filming himself. Well, we know that the only people that tend to film themselves like we film ourselves are sort of vloggers and people like that. So I was like, oh, that's a bit strange. So I'm looking over. Anyway, we established...
Got a massive sign written van.
Yeah,
so.
It gave it away that he's got the name of his band on his van and it's called Arvingana. And his name is Casper and he is...
Casper Janebrink.
One of the members of the band.
The lead singer. Yeah.
And apparently they came 7th in Eurovision in 1993.
Yeah.
So there he is.
So I went over. What a lovely chap. I had a chat with him and no, really friendly.
Yeah,
as everybody is over here.
Get off my pitch. Get off my pitch.
I'll give you a picture if you get off my pitch.
Yeah, so Jules came back with a picture, so it's hilarious.
So anyway, so we're going to now take all the security off and get hooked up, and we will be a travelling day, and we'll catch you on the next one. So.
And hopefully tonight we'll be doing a live, so hopefully by the time you're seeing this, we will have successfully done a live.
All depends on the upload and download speed.
Yeah, so fingers crossed. So hopefully we might get to do a live tonight, so we'll see.
So we'll see you at the next site. See you in a little while.
So when we saw you last, we were at Karlstad and we'd just met Casper from a band and Jules was very excited.
Arvingina.
We were then heading on to down to Varberg. We got to that site and it was very much set up for seasonal pitches, not particularly for tourists, so I wouldn't have recommended that site. We did do a live from there, so hopefully you will have seen that and caught up with that. I think it was quite entertaining about how our European tour's gone so far. And from there we then headed to our last site in Sweden, and that was Torekov. And that was an absolute belter. What a way to end our holiday. When we arrived at the site, I said to Jules, because they did have some seafront pitches, and I said we need to upgrade to a seafront pitch because I don't want to be under trees for 6 days. So we upgraded. Wow, when we got down to that seafront, it was amazing.
Picked a good pitch.
You picked an amazing pitch. There was no one else next to us. We just had a pitch on our own because, as we've said, the pitching here is a little bit claustrophobic.
In fact, what I'll do is I'll show you some of the examples, because one of the things that we did say early on in, I think it was the first vlog, that it was very different travelling abroad and caravanning abroad, and what I meant by that was it's different is the best way of putting it. So the people do pitch quite close to you, people do walk through your pitches a little bit, it's very familiar, and that's really
but we'll come to that as we summarise our adventures. So we stayed at Torekov. We had a great time there, didn't we? And then it was time to leave Sweden altogether, so we hitched up and we headed to Denmark. And we had a really nice little private site in Denmark that we just sort of stumbled across on the internet, really. We had 2 nights there. It was absolutely fantastic. There was hardly anyone else on the site. We had it practically to ourselves, massive pitch. So we loved that, and then we trundled on back to Stella Sea in Germany, which is where we stayed when we came out here. And that is where a chap, literally, there was our pitch, people had pitched up next to us, and then a chap who drove his hobby caravan in between the two of us and decided to pitch up literally in between two pitches, so he was sharing half of our pitch and half of theirs. Unbelievable.
There was plenty of space on the side.
Oh yeah, there was loads of other pitches.
This wasn't struggling for space
No,
at
he
all.
just wanted to be in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was just like, well, thank God we're only here for a night, because otherwise that would be the end of it for me. So that was it, one night, and then we've arrived here. And this is Rhine camping in Germany, and as you can hopefully see behind us, that is the River Rhine, and literally just over my left shoulder is Dusseldorf Airport and Dusseldorf itself, and that's where we're heading next. That's the Caravan salon. There's a quantity of trees and the campsite is within those trees, so we are heading there on Thursday. So that's just in a couple of days, and we're getting straight into the show, aren't we?
Yeah, straight into the Dusseldorf Caravan salon.
So that's the plan. So
Absolutely.
and then from there we go back to Holland, where we get fudge wormed, and then we get the boat back to Harwich. So let's go through our trip to Europe. What has worked and what has not worked?
Oh, what has not worked so well?
So well. So let's start with, what should we go for first? So much. What's been a bit different for us? Well, let's start on that. What have we learnt really? Quite a lot. Europe is fantastic for touring, whether it be a caravan or a motorhome. The roads, and that goes for all the countries we've been through, the roads are so much better, they're so much bigger. It's been so much easier for towing, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So that's a one.
But not only the roads, the infrastructure as well. The parking laybys that they've got are phenomenal. You'll see them well in advance, and you literally pull off the motorway, and there is a setback section of land that a lot of the time has either places to eat, or if they're smaller, like you'd get as like parking places in the UK, they have massive bays and they've got picnic tables all over, so you can literally stop, relax, sit down, have something to eat to carry on your journey. We have found
it's been easy, really
easy. The petrol stations,
easy.
We haven't even, normally what we do is we'll fill up the car before we hitch up, the day before, or just make sure that the car's brimmed, so that then when we're towing we don't have to stop with the caravan. With it being so wide and long, it's a little bit harder in the UK. Here the petrol stations, wow,
Yeah, they're easy, aren't they?
you can get HGVs in.
So that's been a bonus.
That's been a massive thing that we've found.
The pitches, I would say, if you're going to book a site before you just arrive, book the biggest pitch you can get, because they are very small, and literally fire breaks don't exist. You will pitch up and then the next pitch is straight next to you. There's no gap, so obviously that person utilises their entire pitch. So you quite often find that you look out of one of your windows and the next caravan or motorhome, you can actually touch it, and then they'll have a canopy out.
Yeah.
There's the seasonal pitches have awnings, and generally the tourers just go for a canopy at this time of year. Obviously I'm sure in winter it's a bit different, and it's just literally a whole line of caravans or motorhomes just like that, all crammed in. So don't think you're going to have loads of space. You are not. We're lucky we've got an end pitch here. These are some staff vans next to us, so we've ended up with a really good sized pitch. But then equally, we had, when there was someone next door to us, their awning was almost touching the side of our caravan, and then their motorhome obviously adjoined the roll-out canopy, so you don't get the space. So go for the biggest you can. On sites, the water points are quite often, they're few and far between. If you can get a service pitch, do. You might end up sharing that water point with 4 other pitches though, because we did have a service pitch and it was like in a quadrant, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Bins, there's generally only 1 bin point on a whole site. If it's a big site, you could well be walking a fair distance. And the services, you've used them.
Yeah.
I've only used a couple. If they're good, they're excellent. If they're not good, they're shocking, is what I've found. So be prepared for that. So booking sites, we did book all of ours in advance, because when you've got a large caravan, it's not as easy if you arrive at a site after a 4-hour tow to be told there's no space. So I made sure that we had ours booked. That has worked in some respects and not in others, because there's some places where, to be fair, I think just a couple of nights would have been enough for us, and then we'd have moved on. But because we've got a booking, we were stuck to it, really. Apart from Mosquito Gate, where nothing was going to stop us from moving, we were off. But if you're in a motorhome, I don't think if we were motorhoming we'd have booked sites like we have. I think we'd have just rocked up and taken the chance that they had space. Most of the sites we've been on, apart from Colmarden, that was full. They've all had a pitch, haven't they?
Yeah.
So with a motorhome, at least, if they are full, you can use probably one of your apps to find somewhere where you can go and stop off-road.
And what we have found is, whilst being here, it does just seem to be the norm of people just literally coming and saying, have you got a picture a couple of nights?
And very late at night as well.
They don't book in advance like we would. Not saying everybody does, but we would book in advance normally, and that doesn't seem to be the norm here. But yeah, just going back to Mosquito Gate, I know some people were asking about that. We didn't get a refund. We didn't expect a refund, to be fair. The small print basically said if you leave through your stay, then obviously you forfeit that money. So
which is fair enough, isn't it? It's one of those
things.
Yeah. So that's how we found the site. Going to the mosquitoes, what would we have brought with us, knowing what we know now? We would have brought with us more Citronella candles, and also those like bug lamps that you can get. We only really had mosquitoes at two places, that being Ockno and then Norrköping. Other than that, we have not seen any since. So I think the further north in Sweden you go, the more likely you'll get them. And other parts of Europe will be the same, I'd have thought, mountainous regions. So we'd have definitely come prepared had we known it was going to be quite as bad as it was. And also, temperature-wise, we have been really lucky. We've had fantastic weather in the 6 weeks we've been here nearly now, I think, in Europe. We've only had 2 days of rain in 6 weeks, and the rest of the time it's fluctuated from being low 20s up to about 32 or 33.
Yeah, we've had 2 heat waves.
We're having a heat wave now, like people are at home. It's the bank holiday weekend at home right now, bank holiday Monday, and we're having that here in Dusseldorf. It's going to be 33 today, and yes, it's hot. So aircon, a lot of people have asked about aircon. The rooftop system is around £1,800 to have fitted to a caravan or motorhome. Would we have it done? It's a lot of money for me. Although we plan to come back to Europe next year, would I outlay £1,800? I don't know, and it's also the payload. But what we are considering is
one of the small box air conditioning units that you can use in the caravan, the awning, or the car,
like a Transcool or Total Cool. And they're going to be at Dusseldorf, so we might go and have a look. They're generally around £300 for a unit. Again, still a lot of money, but it's a lot less than £1,800. And the benefit with the mobile box, although I don't think it's probably going to work as well as a rooftop, you can then, when you're at home, take it into your house, even if we have a hot summer, or if you're staying in an apartment abroad. So there's more flexibility, but that's something we're going to have to think about.
We can justify that a little bit better than we can just putting it on a
on
caravan, just like yourselves, probably using it for a couple of weeks a year.
And we tour a lot, as you know, so we'd get our money's worth. But I mean, at home, to be fair, so far opening the windows has been sufficient. There was only the odd day.
There's always a breeze normally to cool you down.
So that is,
it's a personal preference.
Yeah, if you struggle with the heat and you can afford the aircon, I'd say get the aircon.
Yeah, absolutely.
So aircon has been something that we would think about. Fudge, wherever he's gone.
He's
here.
He's coming.
Fudge has had a brilliant time.
He's coming
Here
between.
he is. Hello, oh little man. Fudge has had a great time, he really has. There's a lot of dogs here. We found a lot of dogs. He has limited us as to what we can do. Obviously it's been too warm to leave him in a car. We wouldn't leave him in the caravan. And sometimes walking him, it's been too hot to take him too far, apart from the river, he loves that. So if you are coming with a dog, it's straightforward, get your passport, absolutely no issues. We've got him booked in for worming when we go back to Holland. But a dog will limit what you're going to be able to do in the summer months in Europe because of the heat, and that's something to take on board. And also there's certain activities where, like if you want to go on a boat cruise or something like that, you're not going to be able to take your dog But otherwise, we've had no issues. He's had a great old time, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He picked up one tick. We did flea and tick him before we came. He has had one tick, and that came off. I've been checking him, not seen any more. So it's definitely worth fleeing and ticking your pets before you come. What else have we found? Awnings and canopies. We did not bring our awning. Our awning is big and it's heavy, and that's going to eat into the payload, whether it go in the car or the caravan. It's been a good decision for this time of year not to bring an awning.
It's worked out for us really well.
Yeah, it would have been too hot, way too hot, and too much hard work in this heat for Jules to put it up and down. We've got the canopy, which we've already done a review on, the Maypole Sun canopy.
I'll leave a link up here.
And this has been
So you can have a look at that
fantastic,
if you want.
hasn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. Out here, people at tour, they've all got a canopy, whether it be something like this or a wind out one. They're really popular, aren't they? And I can see why.
And the ones with sides, so that sort of the air beam fronted with sides, just to give you that little bit of protection from the wind, but also the sunshade on the front. A lot of those out here, just to give you that little bit of a reprieve, so that you can sit down and eat when when the sun's just dropping in the sky on an evening a little bit more, and it's still quite warm out here. So yeah, this has been an absolute godsend. Thrown it up, took it down within seconds, and literally all I do is break the poles in half, not break them in half, just unhook them, take that off and leave those in the ground if it was to start getting really windy, or which we haven't had, but it is literally
And that's it. And for £80,
a 30-second thing.
it's a really good bit of kit. We've literally used it 6 weeks, non-stop. So definitely think canopy as opposed to thinking large awning or any awning. It would have just been too warm, I think. So that's a lot of what we've learned. Coming to Europe's been fantastic. If you're thinking about it, do it. It's excellent. You don't have to go too far. You don't have to go off to Sweden like we have. It's go to France, go to Belgium, go to Holland. Just try it. Don't be worried about driving on the wrong side of the road. Once you come off the boat or the train, you're on the right side. You're on the right side of the road, and you're off.
It's a small transition period, and then once you get over that, you're on motorways because you're eating up the miles most of the time. It's the last sort of 20 minutes, half an hour to your site, and the first 20 minutes setting off from your site, and then just navigating round to go to the shops and bits and pieces. They're the only bits that we've sort of noticed.
Definitely go for it.
And we've just been saying this morning actually that to come away for this length of time has cost us not anywhere near what we would have sort of paid to go out to America or to go
on a package
holiday somewhere. It has cost us, don't get me wrong, because of the sites and everything and the fuel, it all adds up. And then the hidden costs of the servicing, because we put miles on the car. There are little things like that, but then you've got the familiarity of your car, your home, that are all out here, and you've got everything that you can bring out with you, so you can preload it with food and bits and pieces, knowing that it'll stay chilled. And
that's another thing, the supermarkets, isn't it? Germany, Denmark, Holland, fine, same price as at home, if not some of it cheaper. I mean, we've been to Aldi today, haven't we, and stocked up. Sweden, if you're thinking of going to Sweden, seriously, that is a lot of money in those shops. I know we've gone on about it a bit, but wow, it's twice as much as at home. Everything is double the price. So whatever you normally buy, double it, and that's what it's going to cost you. It was phenomenal. I don't know what we spent on food over there. I dread to think. So what would we do differently? Would we go back to Sweden?
Absolutely,
yes. Sweden's beautiful.
Absolutely
We felt safe.
beautiful.
It was clean. The people were so friendly. I would not hesitate to go back to Sweden, but I would take a lot more food in preparation for it. I would make sure I took more dog food for a start, because the dog food was very expensive and very limited as well. There wasn't a lot of choice, which I was surprised about, whereas at home you could get a whole aisle of dog and cat food. Over there was like a small section like the size of this table. So no, definitely take more dog food. We'd take more sort of dried foods, breakfast cereal, because a box of breakfast cereal was £4 for a box of Cheerios and cornflakes. So I think we've learned we would take more. But if you're in the rest of Europe, I wouldn't really worry too much. And wasps, there's quite a lot of wasps in Germany. Yeah, so I think that sort of really does summarise our European trip. All the planning we did has paid off. Planning the routes, the tolls, only taking a bit of cash with us. We didn't go mad with cash, and to be fair, everywhere takes debit cards, takes my Visa debit. Petrol stations, generally all of those have been pay at the pump. There's only been in Germany we've found that not as common. So yeah,
I think we made a good choice, because we did talk about and consider prepaying cards and things like that to come out here, but because you are crossing borders and there are different currencies, then just having the cash, to be fair, and we've managed to limit ourselves, and then when we've come back to Germany we've been able to use the euros and start spending up what euros we've had, so that's worked really well. But yeah, in a nutshell, we can't fault the holiday whatsoever.
But we've hardly seen any English people as well, which has been a bit strange. Sweden, none. Denmark, none. We've landed back in here in Germany, and there's a couple on the site, and I think they're probably here for the Dusseldorf show. But yeah, no English people whatsoever. We haven't had an English conversation apart from with ourselves, have we?
What we have noticed as well is up in Sweden and Denmark more, I would say, the camping feel is a lot more family orientated and relaxed, and people will have a glass of wine on a night and things like that, whereas we've come back to Germany and it does seem to be that people are drinking more, so they've been a bit merrier on a night, not in a bad way, that's just what we found. It was a little bit quieter in Sweden,
and Denmark. Lovely and quiet.
Lovely and peaceful and quiet.
But yeah, so we've had a fantastic time. We've really enjoyed Europe. We'll definitely be coming back next year. The things we'd like to do, we haven't decided yet, but there's loads more we want to do, different countries. It's just given us a real good idea of what it's like.
Given us a massive insight, massive insight as to how we'd do it and how we'd go on from here. And a motorhome has been mentioned, so trying this and maybe going a little bit further, because it is so well set up for caravans and motorhomes. It's just so easy. It's just so easy.
So that is what we've found, our tour of Europe. Hopefully you've enjoyed it, seen lots of things. If you haven't enjoyed it, I do apologise. But yeah, we've really enjoyed it.
Sorry we haven't given you any more of these, but it was a bit of a holiday as well, so we wanted to document how we found it out here, how we got on, and also something a little bit different, because we know that a lot of people go sort of France, Spain and down that sort of way. And we just thought this would be something a little bit different, and we're really pleased that we have, because it's been fantastic.
Absolutely brilliant.
So all it goes for me to say is thank you so much for watching. Please give us a thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. That really helps us, and we hope that you've enjoyed the content. And from us, we'll hopefully
see you in the next one.
See you in the next one.
Take care, everyone.
See you later. Bye.